Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest issue is, and always has been for the housing industry, is interest rates. Um, last year at this time, we were entering a period where everyone said rates were going to go up significantly. I never fully bought into that because if they did go up significantly in Canada, it would have crashed the housing market. We are very tightly geared. The housing industry is very tightly geared to interest rates, and if they were to go up for whatever reason, and I don't know what that catalyst would be, our entire housing industry is really at risk because of how indebted we are. If interest rates remain benign or perhaps even go down, I think you'll see a resurgence in the housing industry. So more so than any other factor, I would point to interest rates as being the one metric that we will be paying close attention to.
Thinking about what's going to happen next and the biggest changes, if you'd asked me that same question 1 year ago, I would have had it wrong because we've had so much turmoil in the financial markets. First, there was a whole bunch of talk about rate rises from Bank of Canada, the Federal Reserve Bank, and now it's going the other way. I never would have thought we would have seen the 10-year US Treasury below 2.5 again. But suddenly it is. And that kind of volatility has been a challenge of late. And that's, I think, going to continue to be an issue in the near term, just given where we are with issues on global trade, talking with China. And so that's not going to impact development right away in the sense of nobody's going to say, oh, I'm not going to build a residential tower in Toronto because I'm worried about what's going to happen with US-China relationships. But it's going to impact some of the volatility of the financial markets, which in the end changes some of the hesitancy of some of the lenders. So I think things might be just a little bit jagged in the near term, jagged rather, and that might have some impacts on financing trends.
I think inclusionary housing will, no question, be a huge impact in the Toronto area and other municipalities as well. I think it's very important that we develop a policy, a sound policy around inclusionary housing, but how that's done is critical to the success of it. With current cost basis, it just doesn't work to simply tell developers they have to provide it. There needs to be a give and take on that.
Well, government policy was the biggest factor in the last 3 years and will be in the next 3 as well, probably beyond. We've seen the most rapid change in government policy leading up to this year in terms of tightening of restriction, and then we're about to head into a significant change in terms of potentially loosening regulation. So that amount of change in a short period of time is certainly what is affecting our business looking forward.
I think the biggest influence that we've seen on our development market over the last 12 months will continue to be so going forward, which is government policy. In places where government makes smart policies that help to expedite approvals and increase the amount of supply, we're going to see much more balanced markets and a lot more affordability. So I think that will continue to be the greatest influence.